Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a WWE WrestleMania 42 Vegas Night 1 versus Night 2 live debate, live stream. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if y'all are new. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you share the stream, let everybody know that I'm live. I'm ready to go on delivered the most last month. Now, before we do that, I do want to hit y'all with some news that dropped yesterday and why it matters for tomorrow's Monday Night Raw Backlash 2026 Go Home show. And I recently came up with this answer last night. And if you don't believe me, go ask my parent. Just saying. Because I'm telling you right now, this changes everything. It really does. Roman Reigns is no longer being advertised for June episodes of Raw. Both Sportskeeda and Ringside News confirmed that. Now, I told y'all yesterday, and I'm going to tell you again tonight, because this is the cleanest explanation. Long-term booking war. That's it, man. That's the reason. That's the reason why Roman Reigns is not advertised for June episodes of Raw. I've literally said this not only on the YouTube community tab, but on Twitter X and Facebook newsfeed as well. You can go check out the posts I made on Twitter X about this. It makes too much sense if you actually watch how WWE books Roman Reigns. Backlash sets the table. You got Roman versus Jacob Fatu. And don't forget, this is audio only. So, anyways, Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu isn't the blow-off. It's the ensuing incident. You do that match to launch the Civil War, not end it. Then June, Fatu's Playground. No Roman Reigns on Raw means solo Jacob Fatu gets to run Raw as a singles competitor. Still. Unopposed for a real or for a whole month. Honestly, this is how you build them as legitimate threats. If Roman Reigns is there every week cutting promos, Jacob never feels like a real tribal chief challenger. And we all know SummerSlam needs stakes. You don't waste Roman versus Jacob #2 on a random July Raw in Atlanta. You save who's the real tribal chief for a stadium. June absence means bigger return pop in July to kick off the SummerSlam build. Now, I'm going to say this, and I feel like some of you are going to believe me, some of you are not. It's just facts. It's WWE's pattern. Bro, this is exactly how they booked Roman. This is exactly how they booked his run with Cody, Jay, and Solo. Pull him after a big premium live event. Let the story cook. Bring him back for the next major build. It keeps Roman special. The only way this becomes bad booking is if June Raws feel dead and Jacob doesn't get over. But if Jacob looks like a killer all month, fans will be begging for Roman by July. And that's how you get 80,000 people losing their minds when he comes back. Now, keep this in mind, folks. When we watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow, we're watching because the contract signing between Roman Reigns and Jacob for the World Heavyweight Championship is going to happen on Raw. Now, I know the Bloodline feud has got a lot of hate from the IWC on Twitter over the years, but people are saying this Bloodline feud is getting old. That Bloodline story is getting flat. You know what I'm saying? But people need to realize this could actually steal the show. All right. This could be something interesting for once. And that's not even the only highlight tomorrow night. Look at the card, dude. You got Sol Ruka's contract signing happening too. You know I'm high on Sol. Y'all know that I'm high on Sol Ruka. Oba Femi's open challenge better be somebody on the same potential level as him at the top of the Raw men's division. Because I'm telling you, Oba walked out of WrestleMania 42 Night 2 looking like a future world champion, even in defeat to Brock. Then we got JD McDonough versus Finn Balor. Now listen, JD McDonough versus Finn Balor match could be match of the year candidate if WWE lets them go without any interferences. Judgment Day, no Judgment Day BS, no run-ins, none of that. Just two dudes who can work. Let them cook for 15 minutes and you got magic. The rest of the card looks solid too. It's either going to be, in my opinion, a solid B mid show or a solid average B plus show. I'm going with solid B plus. The card looks fantastic. I'm not even gonna lie. The show's going to deliver tomorrow night. The excitement, the hype, and feel is there. This could be another one of the best Monday Night Raw episodes of this year, honestly. So that's what we walking into after this debate tonight. But right now, we're settling which WWE WrestleMania 42 Vegas night delivered the most last month. And you know where I stand. Night one, I said it last month. Night one was fucking terrible. Night two was fucking great. And we're about to break it down why. So chat, get your takes ready, clips ready. Amy, if you disagree, because night two over night one. And I said what I said. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I hope y'all are ready. Now, we sat through both of these shows live. I sat through both of these shows with y'all live last month on the watch alongs, and the difference was night and day, literally. Night one felt cursed from the jump, dead crowd most of the night, matches with no heat, and main event that had 15 years of story behind it and still came out flat as hell. Plus, my tech was fighting me the whole time. My stream crashed mid-show. Netflix was bluffering during the kickoff. Privado VPN kept dropping. It was like the universe didn't want me to enjoy that premium live event. Rightfully so. And outside of Jacob and Drew trying to kill each other, Gunther and Seth chomping the soul out of each other, and Liv Morgan and Stephanie going war for the women's world title. The rest of night one was mid as hell. It was. I'm not even going to lie. The Vision and iShow Speed spot fest killed the crowd early. That women's tag four-way was pure chaos with no tags, no story, just bodies everywhere for 15 minutes. That meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch should have been a dream match moment, but the crowd was dead. Hazing was off. And the finish had no impact either on top of that. And then you got Cody Rhodes versus Orton in the main event. Had everybody sitting on their hands. You cannot have that at WrestleMania. So night one gets a mid-low C- from me personally. Night one from last month. And I'm being generous. Then we had night two that happened and flipped the whole weekend on its head. Every single match on night two had a purpose. We made stars. We paid off stories. And at the end, I'm going to explain to you guys why I think the bloodline war angle is the answer. We're going to explain that in the end. We are going to explain why that's the answer and the 4 angles that actually make sense as to why Roman Reigns is no longer advertised for June, for all the June Monday Night Raw episodes. Now, going back to what I was saying, hold on. I have my notes up here. Okay, going back to what I was saying. Every single match on night 2 had a purpose. Made stars, paid off stories, got a main event that felt like a main event, basically. Night 2 gets a good A from me, and it ain't even close. So, yeah. You're doing this debate tonight, but I'm telling y'all right now, night 2, in my opinion, that's what I went with last month. If you don't believe me, go listen to my WWE WrestleMania Night 2 watch along right now for proof. I'm telling you. Night 2 delivered the most, and Night 1 didn't deliver at all. If you disagree, chat is open. Pull up and defend Night 1. I'm okay with it. I want to hear it. I want to hear why you think Night 1 was better than Night 2, because in my opinion, Night 2 was better than Night 1. Now, I'm just saying. So let's break this down for real and keep it 100 with the comparison, because this is where the argument dies. Night 1 did not deliver because it had no identity. You had YouTube Carnival matches opening the show with the Vision and I Show Speed running around for 20 minutes. And like I said, the crowd was dead before the first bell even rung. You had a women's tag title fatal 4-way that was supposed to be stacked with Rhea, Paige, Charlotte, Bliss, Bayley, Lyra, Nia, and Lash Legend, and it turned into a cluster with no tags. No physicalology, no story, just a bunch of finishers for the sake of it. And then it was over. You had AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, which on paper, folks, let me remind you, on paper is a WrestleMania dream match. The build was rushed. The crowd never bought in. The finish landed with zero impact. Bianca announcing her pregnancy was a beautiful thing for her as a person, honestly. I'm sure everybody else is happy for her as much as I am, but that's a segment, not a match. You can't use that to really carry a WrestleMania night. Not even trying to be disrespectful, what I'm saying. I'm just being honest. Then the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. One of the worst matches of the entire night 1 card. You had 15 years of history. Mentor versus student. RKO versus Crossroads. All the video packages in the world, and they still gave us a slow build. Predictable spots, and a finish that had 80,000 people sitting on their heads, sitting on their hands, basically. That'd be funny if they were sitting on their heads too, though. That is unacceptable for night 1 of WrestleMania. That night was supposed to set the tone. It's supposed to set the tone, and the tone it was set was nothing more than a complete disastrous disappointment. 3 matches carried that whole card on their backs. Jacob versus McIntyre was an absolute war. Felt like WrestleMania, violence. Gunther versus Seth was a host fight with chops that sounded like gunshots. Be honest. Morgan and Vaquer. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer was Liv proving she basically wanted more than ever. And Stephanie showing why she's champ. Everything else, everything else was bad and off. Like hell on earth. Like I'm not even joking. Now we flip to night 2. Tell me it ain't any different. Night 2 opened with Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. And Femi took suplexes, took F5s, kept getting up, and left looking like a future world champion, even in defeat. That's how you build a new monster on the biggest stage. Then the Intercontinental Championship ladder match last month with Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, Rusev, JD McDonough, and Rey Mysterio was pure chaos in the best way. Ladders were flying, bodies were breaking. When Penta pulled that title down, that belt felt like a prize once again. No question about it. That is exactly how I felt, folks. Then you had Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. That was perfect booking. Sami sold his heart out like he always does, and Trick hits the trick shot for his biggest win ever. Babyface U.S. champion Trick Williams with Little Yachi in his corner was over, and WWE better lean into it because they made a star right there. Even though that gingerbread man shit on SmackDown was terrible, but was not needed on TV. The street fight with the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio was solid. Now, was it a 5-star classic? The answer is no. Was it repetitive? The answer is yeah. But the Demon finally got a clean win on a big stage, and that gimmick desperately needed it. And Dom still looks strong in defeat, and he's got AAA gold anyway. So, no damage done. Then Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the women's title. Listen, the interference is tired, and it killed the flow. Rhea carried Jade to her best match since she got to WWE, and that Riptide for the win was the right call. Plain and simple. Rhea with that title just feels right, and Jade needs more matches like that to find her footing as a champion. Danhausen stealing the spotlight from The Miz and John Cena wasn't even a match. It was just the most viral moment of the whole weekend. No bell, no gear, just charisma. He had 80K people, 80 quadrillion people in his hand, while two legends stood there confused. It's basically a star power you cannot basically teach. And then the main event, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship, was a masterpiece. Both men busted open, table spots, GTSs, near falls, spear, near falls, and a double rope rebound spear to end it. That was the most athletic Punk has looked since he came back, and Roman was vicious. That is an all-time WrestleMania main event on work rate alone. So when you ask which night delivered the most, it's night 2 for me. And it's not a debate. Night 2 made Trick elevated. Oba gave the Demon life, made the Intercontinental title feel important, gave Rhea Ripley her monster run back. It made Danhausen viral and gave us a main event classic. Night 1 gave us 3 good matches and a whole lot of disappointments. That's the difference. So look, we've been talking for a while, chat, been going crazy. Some of y'all agreeing with me and some of y'all trying to defend Night 1. I bet that's what y'all doing right now. And if not, if so, I respect it. But Night 1 also did not hold up its end of the bargain. It was cursed, it was mid, it was flat, it set the tone with disappointment. String crashed, crowd was dead. The main event laid an egg, and outside of 3 matches, it was one of the worst ones out anyway. To be honest. That's just the honest to God truth. Mid low C minus, and that's me being nice because I appreciate Jacob, Drew, Seth, Gunther, Liv, and Stephanie for trying to save it. Well, night two is why we watch WrestleMania. Night two is why we stay up, why we order the premium live event, why we do the watch alongs, why we argue online. Night two delivered stars. Night two also delivered moments. Night two delivered a main event. You can't tell me, and nobody in the internet wrestling community on Twitter can tell me that Oba Femi didn't leave night two bigger than he walked in. You can literally tell. Live chat, those of y'all that's listening, you can literally tell. You can literally tell me. You cannot tell me that Trick Williams isn't a made man after night two. You also can't tell me that IC ladder match didn't make that title feel like something again. You also can't tell me that the Demon getting a clean win didn't matter. And you damn sure can't tell me that Rhea Ripley doesn't have that division on her back now. And you can't tell me that Danhausen didn't really become a star without even wrestling. And once again, you damn sure can't tell me that Punk versus Reigns wasn't a WrestleMania main event worthy of closing the show. Night two saved the weekend. It gets a good A from me. When the title of the stream asks which WWE WrestleMania 42 night delivered the most, the answer is night two. And it ain't even close. Night one was fucking terrible. Night one was fucking great, like I said. Night two over night one. I appreciate everybody who pulled up live. We got more things to talk about before I get on out of here. It didn't take long, did it? I know. I'm usually pretty quick with this stuff sometimes. So let's go back and explain. Let's go back and actually explain why the long-term bloodline war angle makes the most sense. Remember, I said I was going to go over that. So here's why it makes the most sense, folks. I'm talking about the bloodline war angle between Roman and Jacob. Number one, it sets the table. Sets the table for Backlash. Roman Reigns versus Jacob at Backlash isn't the blow-off. It's in-seating incident. You do that match to launch the Civil War and not end it. June, Jacob's Playground. No Roman on Raw. Like I said, means solo. Jacob, Fatu, get to run Raw unopposed for a month. And it's how you build them as legitimate threats. Like I said earlier, if Roman is there every week, Jacob never fails like a real Tribal Chief Challenger. SummerSlam these stakes. You don't waste Roman versus Jacob 2 on a random July Raw. Figured I'll repeat this again in case nobody didn't hear it. You save who's the real Tribal Chief for a stadium. June absence, bigger return pop in July to kick off the SummerSlam build. And number 4, WWE's pattern. This is how they book Roman's run with Cody, Jacob, and Solo. Sikoa, book him after a big premium live event, let the story cook, bring him back for the next major build. It keeps him special. The only way this becomes bad booking is if June Raws feel dead and Jacob doesn't get over. But if Jacob looks like a killer all month, man, fans will be begging for Roman by July. Yeah. So that's 4 reasons why the long-term booking war That's the four angles that makes the most sense. We need to talk about the releases because I never got to talk about them the other night. You know, when I was live for Lucha Libre last night, I never got to talk. I never went over that. I had forgot all about that. So that was breaking news that hit this past last weekend. And it was a big one for the wrestling world. So last weekend was according to Body Slam and Fight for Select. WWE had released four more names. JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and this is the shocker. The New Days is Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Losing any talent is tough. You got Woods and Kofi. They aren't just any names, man. We're talking about two guys who helped redefine tag team wrestling for an entire generation. The New Days resume speaks for itself. It really does. Like, no kidding. Record setting, title reigns, classic matches, and connect with fans that most teams never touch. See 2/3 of the group released at the same time, man. That's the end of an era. Tonga Loa and JC Mateo, on the other hand, are also out in this wave. Loa's got that bloodline connection and years of experience overseas. And then JC Mateo was just getting started, building his name. 4 releases in one shot. Tells you WWE is still making moves as we get closer to summer. Yep. Now, no word. There was no word on what's next for any of them. New Day could be. One of my followers said that the New Day could be signing with AEW. I don't like their chances signing with AEW. I don't. I can see them signing with Impact or maybe the Indies. You know what I'm saying? But there are options out there like AEW, TNA, New Japan, Indies, and even outside wrestling completely. Wherever they land, they've all left a mark. Let me know the thoughts on the releases when the stream gets processed. Who do you guys want to see pop up next? It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I know. It's crazy, 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 crazy. It's sad at the same time, man. It really is. Anyway, folks, that's gonna do it for your WWE WrestleMania 42 Vegas Night 1 versus Night 2 Wild debate, man. If you enjoyed hearing everything I had to say, and if you enjoyed hearing that Night 2 delivered the most, man, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this live debate. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I know all of you couldn't tune in because you probably had to work tonight. I appreciate all the people I can get. It's great to be doing another live stream. Usually I have Sundays off, but I decided to do this. I figured it'd be perfect timing to do this. And I did, so. By the way, y'all can go check out my AAA on Fox 16 watch along. That was live last night for AAA on Fox episode 16. Now, before I get on here out of here for real this time, I want to remind you guys about this show last night because the show was wild from start to finish. And I have my overall thoughts and grade on this show on my YouTube community tab if you want to read it for yourself. But if you want to hear it from me personally here, you can. So you got El Hijo del Vikingo versus El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. for the AAA Latin American Championship for May the 30th. That match alone sells a ticket. Legacy versus Daredevil. That's main event energy. Manny Vikingo shocked the world and beats Vikingo clean. We're talking Vikingo or Vikingo hitting a terrifying top rope Uranagi, grabs a chair. Then Wagner Jr. runs in, plants him with a Wagner driver on the chair. So you had Mini scrambles up, hitting a 630 for the 1-2-3. The simplest, biggest win, or should I say the biggest upset of El Hijo Vikingo's career. I mean, that's crazy. I wonder what Del Vikingo is going to have to say about that, about his loss. Man, this was one. This is how you know this was one hell of a solid show last night. I mean, they did a really good job. Undertaker's doing a really good job with the book and the writing and creative in this AAA show, man. Between AAA and Monday Night Raw, they both been delivering solid television. The AAA's finally starting to do that. Monday Night Raw's been doing that though for 7 straight weeks. This will be week number 8, man, for Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is not failing tomorrow night. From looking at the card, the card looks like a solid banger. We already went over the lineup for Monday Night Raw, so if you didn't get to listen to it, you can go back and rewind. I'm probably gonna have to put some timestamps in the description for y'all, you know, to the part where I went over the lineup for the Monday Night Raw Backlash Go Home show. But yeah, this was the biggest upset I've seen in AAA in years, and I was still picking my jaw up off the floor, man. After seeing it, like I really was. What's going on, Kill Bill? Post match, Omos storms out, destroys Wagner Jr. until Glano makes the save. And AA just basically told you they're playing on a major league stage. Ray Phoenix versus Kid was pure lucha art. Non-title. They worked like it was triple mania. Okay. You got spears, counters, crossbodies, destroyer and DDT, kick out at 1. Phoenix wins with the muscle buster. That is how you do TV right there. Psycho Circus. Recap that was needed for new fans, but it did kill the momentum a little bit. The Americano contract signing, y'all. This was vintage AA nonsense. Loved it. Said it yesterday on my AAA watch along. Go listen to it if you haven't. The OG Americano pulls out a lawyer letter, no touch clause until May the 30th, where you will lose your mask. Andrea, Louis Kaiser's real life wife, real life girlfriend, should I say, gets fired for the Creed brothers, but Real threw a table to end the show. So we're booked. It's ridiculous. It's exactly why people watch AAA for what it is. The final stare down had me ready for May the 30th already. Was it perfect? Nah, but it moved every story forward. It gave us 3 viral moments. It made Noche de los Grandes feel must see. Very, very good stuff last night from Lucha Libre. And again, if you guys didn't get to listen to my WWE WrestleMania 42 Vegas Night 1 versus Night 2 live debate, where I went over which Vegas night delivered the most, and as well as going over the match card for Monday Night Raw and going over why the long-term booking war angle makes sense and the 4 things that make it make sense. Y'all can rewind the stream. That is it. That is all I got for real this time, folks. I'm getting out of here. I will catch y'all live tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. Make sure y'all tune in before then. See y'all later and good night.